I'm glad you're all here. Um, we're just going to start right away, just kind of getting on the same page here, more or less. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot of stressors that I see when I look at our list here. Um, there's emotional, financial, a lot of fear. Fear is something that if we can move beyond the fear, I think everything else takes care of itself a little bit more. It's a little easier to take care of things without the fear. So what I think I'll do, and some of you may be new to this, well, I'm new to this platform, but some of you may be new to me. What I think I'll do is I'm going to map, like a remote viewer, and I'll show you this when I do it. I'm going to map the state of the fear in the group, or in the morphic field of fear, I guess, not in the group. We don't want to put it in the group. So hold on a sec. Let's do that. Okay, yeah, it just shows up as a lot of entanglement. And what I'm doing is I'm working with the whole group pattern. And you can see my arm moving there. I'll show you what it looks like in a moment here. Okay, there's a nexus point. I wonder what would happen if we moved into that nexus point. So take a look at this. So this is, well, it's a lot of energy and information in patterns, but it's got, at first it started out as kind of a figure eight, and then it just got to be a spiraling, turbulent energy. Now, this pattern here, I would say it's a nexus point, or it may conform to a blockage or something like that. Almost looks like if it was on the left, it almost looks like the wound in Jesus' side or something, if you want to get biblical. So you can go in there and, that's what it feels like too. That's kind of weird. Okay, so let me tilt that down. Let's see if you guys can see it if I do that. Sometimes the camera doesn't like to do this because it doesn't like to track what we're doing. All right, so now there's this spiral pattern that's moving into the fear pattern, into the nexus of that fear. Consider here that if these patterns that I drew here, as I'm tracking the group energy, if these are all little bubbles of all of us as parallel universes or parallel expressions of self, and then we all resonate with the unknown, and this is what this gap is. This gap is the unknown. So one of the things, and I've been dealing with, we all deal with this. We all deal with fear. I've been dealing with it quite a bit. I've had a few interesting things in my life of late, for the last few years actually. And so finding a way to move the fear without amplifying the fear by trying to get rid of it. And what I've been really doing a lot, and I'm just going to share this with you, is opening up the dimensions of self into more of a spherical pattern. So what I'm talking about there is, remember how we talk about, and if you haven't been with me, then I'll tell you. We talk about dropping down from here, where people tend to think that they are. They think that they are, but they are not what they think. And then if you were to like take a marble down a slide and roll it down the slide into the field of the heart, then if the field of the heart were like a little balloon, and that balloon were to pump up and pump up and pump up and expand and expand and expand and expand and expand and expand, keep expanding, 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 expanding. And then, like if we created this big balloon that was all around our chest and head area, and then above us and through other dimensions, and then what we do is we expand into that bubble while letting go of our thoughts. Our thoughts float up, our feelings float down, so it's like this. And move into the space between your thoughts. So it's like if you take your fingers here, here's a thought, here's the next thought. Move in between that space here. That's right. and drop into that. Now notice, if you will, there's no fear there, because where there's no thought, there is no fear.